Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And contrary to the name of today's OST reaction, we are doing this almost in light because despite the contradictory tone you may suggest for who we're talking about today, it's probably better off that we are all able to see it because, well, Manus, Father of the Abyss, is sort of legendary because he is like the first truly difficult boss you actually fight in the whole of Dark Souls. Now, I say so difficulty because that you only fight one of them. I'm not talking about Ornstein and Smo because you have to fight two of them. Manus, however, is an entire force of nature on his own. Now, for those who need just a very, very quick sort of summary of who Manus is, it's pretty much theorized that Manus was one of the furtive pygmies that was brought about as the supposed Lord of Dark. Now Now I'm not entirely sure if Manus specifically is the Lord of Dark, or if the Lord of Dark is more of a concept amongst mankind as opposed to Gwyn, Nito, or the Witch of Izalith. But either way, the furtive pygmy Manus Manus specifically in this case. I think the story goes is that he fled from the Ring City, which was in essence just a prison that Gwyn made to imprison all those who fought valiantly against the everlasting dragons, and a bunch of other things happened, and Manus is just regarded as the father of the abyss. He is sort of a being of of true chaos, almost not even that of the dark, but more of the abyss. Something evil and sinister, something that has come to hunt, to be an end to Gwyn's Age of Fire. Because when you think about it, really, the furtive pygmy, or at least the idea of a Lord of Dark, isn't really designed to, almost in essence, to be a thing to overtake Gwyn's Age of Fire. It was more born out of desperation and paranoia is why Gwyn chose to, A, build a ring city, B, to rekindle the fire and become the Lord of Cinder, and he had to spread this extent to creating projections of his own daughter Guinevere, and force his own son Gwendolyn into protecting his crypt, and even exiling his own son and abstaining his name from the annals of history. When you think about it, what exactly does Manus really do insofar as the DLC is? I mean, he pulls us into the DLC because apparently, we possess a pendant or something that Manus absolutely is in desire of, mostly by kidnapping the Princess Dusk from Ulasil. But again, if memory serves me correct, I'm not even sure if I can even remember what exactly Manus even wants, or what is he even supposed to be doing. He doesn't really seem like that interested when you think about it, about whether or not we are in the abyss or not. It doesn't really strike me as though he's greatly concerned about having anything, but if we're going to invade his presence, then you know what, he's just going to have to deal with us head on, but we'll have to go to him for some reason. Begs the question, if if Manus just wanted to have us dead, why didn't he just pull us straight from the bottom of the Darkroot Basin and just pull us straight into the Chasm of the Abyss? Why we had to go all the way through the Sanctuary Guardian, the Royal Wood, Ulasil, and then finally all the way to the Chasm of the Abyss? Why couldn't Manus just pull us there? But I imagine there's probably, I might have to replay Dark Souls again on stream when I'm not doing a challenge run, just to get the full grasp of the story. Because I also don't even think it's out of a sense that we have Artorias' soul, who's just come back to finish the job, or that we can even bring Sif into this fight. I don't even think it's through cases like that, but I do know, however, that the case is that the OST for Manus is as brutal, daunting, and overwhelmingly difficult as Manus is. So, let's embrace the Father of the Abyss right now. Here we go. Even that very deep hum is almost like an abstract reminder of the fact that the Chasm of the Abyss is also full of humanities. Things that, very much like Manus, were once lost vessels claiming for some level of purpose to return to the service, but through... It does answer like a lot of questions about where humanities even come from and why were they all stripped away from Hollows. There's a lot of things that do answer the questions of that sort, but it also makes you wonder, is Manus supposed to be human, or was he something that is transcended almost beyond a human? I also like the fact that, again, by this point, Manus would have just been in his second stage, where he relies heavily on dark magic attacks, which is, it's good, but it's also a good reminder is that really Manus could have just used these at any other point during the beginning, so there was no point for him to pull anything out. He doesn't need to resort to any of these things. It's more he uses them out of a sense of, well, he realizes he's losing, so he may as well use them, that's the only real good way of trying to balance if a boss does to justify. It's both, yes, a second stage, but it also kind of isn't, because it's more that he doesn't need to do it necessarily. It's just he is seeing how bad things are going. and you could almost like I think I've mentioned this with like other bosses before, but by the time the fight's over, you don't even begin to realize just straight up how difficult it can be to get around his the way he attacks, the way he moves, or even just you can't. It becomes such it's such a bizarre and extremely difficult venture to get around, because at no point does it even occur to anybody in all of this that he's not really losing, because Manus has enough magic abilities. He has these monstrous combos that he can pull out, and he can deplete stamina bars with nothing. His magic attacks can only realistically be avoided by using a secret item in the silver pendant back in Ulasil. And it's like a Dark Souls 3 boss that's just got put into Dark Souls 1. And that's kind of genius, but it's also a good reminder to be a good reminder that despite how difficult this fight can be, it's nothing that can't be overcome. So much of this game's challenge is the idea that it can be beaten. They didn't design it to be a brick wall. It was designed to be overcome to get the ending to this DLC when you rescue Dusk. But more than anything, it's probably a good point. By when I played Dark Souls for the first time, I had the Sunlight Blade, because even though I was destined to get the Dark Lord ending for the end of the game, I was going to use something to shine my way through the darkness. Which, yes, it must be also said, the arena is basically pitch black whilst basically just standing on a rock floor, but it's slightly more developed, and it makes sense. Abyss may as well be dark in that category. I also like the fact that just before you enter the boss fight, you can see Abyss's 7 eyes just glowing from a spot beneath you. He's waiting for you, and you are going to fight it. And with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed Manus, Father of the Abyss, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.